Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Retail Tales. My name is Saurabh, and I am the host of this podcast. If you're a regular listener, you already know what this podcast is all about. But if this is the first time you're tuning in, this is the podcast which is exclusively focused on discussing all things AI across the retail value chain. All right, let's begin today's show. I really get excited working on the show these days, on the episodes. I mean, it's one of the best parts of my regular schedule now. But I get even more excited when I invite guests to the show, talking to them, listening to their thoughts, learning about their journeys and their experiences. It's very energizing for me. Particularly, having self-starters on the show is quite motivating. And speaking of self-starters, today's guest is a true embodiment of innovation and determination in the world of retail AI. So for that reason alone, I'm thrilled to introduce Ievgen Miasushkin, who is the founder and CEO of tur.ai. If you all don't know, tur.ai is an AI automation startup which is not only growing rapidly, but also revolutionizing how some of the Fortune 500 companies achieve operational efficiencies through cutting-edge AI. Ievgen has an impressive track record in technology and entrepreneurship, and he has led tur.ai from its inception to its current status as a trendsetter in the retail AI space. Today, we'll talk about his journey so far. We'll also try and understand how his clients realize the actual value, the tangible value from operational efficiency gains, and maybe even look at it from a client lens, an example or something. So without further ado, let's welcome Ievgen to the show. Ievgen, thank you for joining us today.
Hi, Saurabh, and thanks for having me. It's a great opportunity to be with you today and discuss how this great technology, which is coming to the market strong and coming to the market hard, is changing the way how the retail industry works.
I'm super excited to get going on this, Ievgen. I'm quite keen to learn about your professional journey so far. What motivated you to start up? Where did the idea come from? And how did you begin? And the name. I mean, it's quite a unique name. Got to be a story behind it now.
It is a story. But talking about how I ended up being with you on this podcast today. Luckily, in 15 years I spent in digital IT, this period of time coincided with two big waves. It's the rapid growth of e-commerce and digital transformation of large retail organizations. And it's been truly unique times when I look back at this, when fresh grad computer science student like me, curious by nature and driven by a dream, making a positive impact through technological innovation, could steeply progress from a software engineer working at an outsourced company to an enterprise architect and product owner who has been in a task force of Benelux largest DIY retailer, challenged to the big things, like bringing the online revenues from 10 million to 100 million. Like that was the last challenge I took still working for somebody, which we did in a few years and tackling all the underlying massive changes that was required to do so. Like when I look at this time back, it was indeed crazy times. And along this journey, I actually realized to what extent routine tasks and rigid and inefficient processes are holding us back at all levels, from personal happiness at work, where we dream to work implementing our ideas, but unfortunately, a lot of the times ending up filling some information intense systems or searching scattered information or don't beat me on this, responding for the same question for 100 times. And this is on the personal level. But at the org level, it's even more challenging because we kind of know what to do because there is a strategy laid upon us. And we wanted to achieve as organizations resilience and efficiency. But the environment that exists there is like continuous chasing a moving target in a quicksand, which at the end of the day resulting and contributing to our unhappiness on both sides of the coin, employees or customers. Because no one was happy to work or being a customer of hitting the bricks retailers, who have been great source to us for ages. And looking at this gave me an inspiration to start tur.ai, where our ultimate goal is to achieve pinnacle of automation, where technology will execute entire workflows for us, liberating us from routine, creating us time to focus on fulfilling cognitive tasks and projects. And through this, driving organizations forward to better serve customers and contribute to economical growth. But I would not be completely honest, not mentioning there is more to it for me. And you could probably guess, like it's becoming a billionaire, which is the fair statement. And this would be the right third element. But the second thing is the engineering challenge, laying in taking promising, but yet very immature AI technology and improving it to a point where it becomes accessible to a wide range of users, which is a space where I can finally make use of all the university studies of math and science knowledge, which I was afraid will rust and dust. So this is the a bit of an inspiration that put me on the tour journey. And talking about the name, there is indeed a story behind it, startup, because for the marketing purposes, Tour stands for the shorter abbreviation of Alan Turing.
I see.
Yeah.
Yes. Got it.
Yeah. But true story is that in one of the first projects which really made Tour to kickstart, we had a guy, engineer, who was extremely committed, and his nickname was Tour.
That's amazing. So it's in a way it's a dedication to both Alan Turing and this engineer on your first project ever.
Absolutely.
That's quite impressive. Thanks for sharing that, Ievgen. Let's talk about Tour a little bit more for at least a minute more. What part of the retail value chain does tur.ai focus on? I mean, what gap does your company fill in the overall retail value chain?
Great question. So we're focused on customer-facing part of the retail value chain, where we believe we can make the biggest impact to both organizations and consumers. Because nobody wants to have their day ruined by the wrong order or missed delivery, and unfortunately, it happens a bit. So we help retail organizations, for instance, automating their entire lead-to-quote process, a crucial component of the sales and marketing value chain. By leveraging AI automations, we're streamlining lead generation, management, nurturing, and quotation. This results in tripling the quotes turnaround. Also, with the higher lead conversion rates, shorter sales cycles, and increased sales productivity, our platform automates personalized communications, needs analysis, proposals creation, and follow-up actions, allowing sales teams to focus on building stronger customer relationships and simply better serve customers. But our impact extends beyond sales. It's possible to reach the cross-functional workflows where we can enhance operations by automating, let's say, order processing, or tap into the inventory management or supplier coordination just by integrating AI into existing business systems. So we're not only improving customer satisfaction, but also enhancing employee morale by reducing the burden of repetitive tasks.
Interesting. Can you maybe elaborate on that a little bit more? Talk about, maybe a specific client, and take the listeners through your journey of working with this client. I mean, we don't have to go into the weeds, but I think it'll help if you could talk about it briefly, especially on the customer service side of things and what you were able to achieve with the client.
Absolutely. I'd like to illustrate one of our use cases, which we achieved with Heineken, who pretty much delegated the cashback loyalty campaigns to AI. First off, I would like to just briefly walk you through the customer and internal journeys here. From the customer perspective, you go to the any supermarket chain or outlet and just buy a action product, and you would submit a proof of purchase to Heineken and get rewarded. They would reward you a cashback on purchase, either fixed amount or the percentage, nicely paid back to you directly and with real money. And when I explain it like that, it sounds very simple. But in reality, when your local marketing teams roll this out nationwide for various products with numerous rules, you're actually dealing with a lot of work. From claims collection to verification, cashback calculations and payroll, fraud management, financial reporting, legal and tax compliance, and don't forget the customer support. So as a brand, being Heineken or any other brand who's doing these initiatives, you have no room to error here because it immediately blows up in your face publicly. And that is why lots of brands, they either don't do these campaigns at a scale or maybe doing them on a smaller fraction, delegating the workloads to the external agencies, making these already costly campaigns just precious ones. And that was exactly the case with Heineken before they started to think in the AI automation angle, which enabled them to in-house entire operation to a point where nationwide campaigns were operated by a small marketing teams in parallel to their day-to-day jobs. And let me take you through how this was actually achieved.
Yeah.
First of all, entire process from setting up campaign to processing claims and doing the payroll was operated not by humans anymore. AI agents took care of this entire system. Tons of routine tasks ranging from reading receipts, matching products between the external and internal taxonomies, calculating cashback amounts, making payments, were also not done by humans anymore. They've been fully delegated to the AI workers. Fraud management deserves a separate word because here AI agents could deliver something humans couldn't do, like checking behavioral data, checking the images' unique traces, all to highlight the potential misuses or fraud attacks. And as far as the customer service is concerned, the efficiency that we achieved in claims processing, combined with the time operating teams were liberated from by AI, enabled spot-on, fast, and first-time right responses to any questions customers may have had. And when we're looking at the bottom line of this automation, we're easily talking low seven figures in yearly cost savings and hundreds of thousands worth of man-hours work saved. From the top-line perspective, we achieved stimulated purchases with effect lasted post-campaigns, bonding loyalty without discounting the brand, and CRM full of priceless customer data. So everybody truly benefited.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you're focused, that, in this case you are focused on labor and non-labor benefits, and even to the extent of non-labor benefits going much beyond in terms of driving that value, unlocking that value from AI. But let me ask you something which even some of the biggest enterprises honestly struggle with today. The whole notion of, efficiency gains that you also spoke about just now in your example seems like a very qualitative benefit of AI. One can continue to create, a business case for an AI initiative based on, let's say, efficiency improvements. But those benefits, more often than not, tend to stay on paper. So in your view, how should clients think about realizing, those benefits? And I mean tangible realization, like impact on bottom line, for instance, through achieving these operational efficiencies. How do you convert basically operational efficiencies into tangible bottom line?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question. Look, it really needs to be, in my opinion, broken down into different subsets of KPIs and metrics. I would first identify the usual suspects, the metrics that you recently brought up, right? So, and they will be different, depend on the line of work we're talking.
Sure.
So sales leaders, they will definitely see metrics improving, like lead to opportunity conversion, number of quotes, average order value. Like customer service teams, like first contact resolution rates, time to respond improvements, and so on. But activation of the more like a longer term value would be in cross-functional collaboration efficiency, because that is typically underseen, but the benefit of having streamlined and orchestrated organization, which is really full swing working on execution of the strategy, is not to be underestimated. So for instance, on the cross-functional collaboration efficiency, you would see time to resolution of cross-functional issues decrease, change management cycles and project completion times decrease, which at the end of the day resonates into return on investment on automation and innovation increase, integrated digital resilience score improvement. And this value will be truly activated through entire value delivery chain, from customer satisfaction to suppliers and supply chain flexibility, for instance.
Yeah. I mean, one of the questions that I've faced in the past is, let's say an AI initiative leads to 1,000 hours being saved on the labor side, right?
Yeah.
Essentially, those 1,000 hours are equivalent of half an FTE. Either you replace that FTE or have them focus somewhere else in order to drive tangible value. But then that whole notion about AI replacing your jobs tends to put fear in people's minds. If not through replacement of jobs, how can an organization how do you think about driving tangible value to the bottom line through those 1,000 hours being saved?
Right. It's really about the coalition, in my opinion, because you could indeed have the case where, you say, I don't need this 1,000 hours, so I let the people go, which, in my opinion, would be a very bad management decision. Because looking at the portfolio of projects and tasks that are piling up in organizations, because of routine, everywhere I see that the initiatives that could drive organization forward are simply at the back burner.
Mm-hmm.
Or customer service teams, because they are so much bothered with the routine, they do not have the time to simply talk to customers or to each other enough to collaborate on ideas, to better know customers, and make a positive impact. So if you delegate the routine to AI, these people have sufficient time to really slash on the big ideas and big projects that are simply not done. And this would drive you forward.
Yeah. No, I love the notion around taking a step back, think through your daily work and think through the strategic importance of that daily work rather than just going through the motions and continuing to execute on steps just because, So I love that. If you have 1,000 hours, why not give those 1,000 hours to the person taking a step back and working on something net new, which could result in your kind of a new product or new service for your organization. That's good insight. Thank you for sharing that. What are your thoughts on the future of AI and generative AI in customer service? Are customers going to adopt talking to or interacting with chatbots, or that human touch is going to be paramount? And I ask this question fully knowing that chatbots are not new. We have had, like, every organization out there has chatbots, NLP based bots out there, but generative AI is going to be able to create that personal connection between an automation running that interaction and the person on the other side. What are your thoughts about that?
I so much agree with you that the evolution of AI comes in waves. So what we're all nowadays experiencing is a so-called wave one, which in a nutshell is all about the task-assisted productivity based on non-domain specific data, which is shaped around these chatbots types of forms, which in a nutshell is UX being natural language prompt to response.
Yeah.
And this is already like a big leap from, a few years back, OCR and like very linear with chatbots. But the next big thing is what is called wave two, where generative AI empowers synthesis, which results in context understanding, decision-making, and task execution.
Mm-hmm.
Generative AI excels in understanding context, deciding on best possible outcomes based on data, and executing the sophisticated tasks, which creates in the general automation landscape ability to own and automate entire workflows, moving beyond simple task automation to intelligent process automation. And this involves transforming traditional workflows into streamlined, efficient processes that can be executed with the click of a button. For instance, in customer service, Gen AI can apply context, generate insights or decisions, effectively completing tasks that would otherwise require manual intervention. Would that mean that we end up just talking to the bots and humans will be left alone? By no means not, because still Gen AI lacks in emotional intelligence and will not be in foreseeable future be able to serve a person, especially with a specific issue or need or an urgent one, than the human agent. What will it do though? It will take vast majority, 90% of the task where it's not needed and enable the person to actually be in a good mood and in a good position to dedicate and satisfy the customer who needs it so much better.
That's great. No, I agree with you. And in fact, some of the organizations are looking at it that way, which is always a positive sign, because if these organizations kind of lead the way in a certain direction, the followers are going to follow in this certain way. We are about to wrap the episode, Yevgen, but before we wrap, is there any advice that you'd like to give to the other entrepreneurs or someone who may just be considering starting up?
It's interesting journey, which I would
Interesting to say the least.
yeah, to say the least, indeed. I guess it really comes down to the internal motivation, because I see entrepreneurship is not a way to, make big bucks or, be super successful in social media. To me, it's all about this urge to fix something that you believe is broken and be ready to go whole 9 yards accomplishing it. Because a lot of the people say that a lot of the entrepreneurs are a little bit crazy, and I have to admit that it's a big time true. Creates unnecessary emotional roller coasters in our life. But when you see that the product you give birth to improves and impacts, that's giving you all the payback in the world and simply enables you to keep going. Another thing where
and become that billionaire.
With the yachts and stuff, indeed. Another thing which where I will probably contradict the public opinion is that, a lot of people say, just go there, don't listen to anybody, don't listen to advice, just do your own thing. I see it as a slightly nuanced situation. I would probably agree that you should not be listening to, simply naysayers who just do that. But when you happen to have great conversations with people who carry some sort of experience and knowledge, you definitely need to listen to them. I would definitely recommend spending time to value their opinion and maybe testing it, and then definitely make up your own mind. Because every advice comes from a person experience and personality. It doesn't mean that it's fully applicable to your situation, but there might be a grains of wisdom that you could take from it, and this will accelerate your journey massively. So be there, be brave, keep going, and you will be rewarded.
Yeah, no, that was great, Yevgen. Thank you for sharing that, and thank you for being on the show and sharing other perspectives with me and the listeners today.
Thank you, Saurabh, for giving this opportunity to share our experience, and hopefully your audience will benefit from these seeds of experience which I've been able to plot during this productive conversation.
No, I love it. For the folks who are interested in learning more and or looking to get connected with Yevgen, feel free to reach out to him on LinkedIn. And with that, it's a wrap on this episode of the Retail Tales. Thanks for listening. Here's me, Saurabh, signing off. If you like the content, don't forget to follow this show to keep learning a thing or two about retail AI. You can follow us on LinkedIn and subscribe to this show on Spotify or Apple. Join me in the next episode of the Retail Tales, a show which is exclusively focused on exploring all things AI across the retail value chain. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay curious.